I started this channel as a way to get me to play games I would otherwise skip, broaden my gaming horizons, so to speak. And as I've been stuck at home sick, I decided to pick a few different games off the new revamped PlayStation Plus. Returnal is a third-person roguelike shooter. It was highly anticipated as it was one of the first original PS5 exclusives to be released, and I'm gonna be honest, I played it a year ago, shortly after release. I hated it. I wanted a showcase for my powerful new PlayStation, but I got an hour in and didn't want to play anymore. So, naturally, I returned it and went back to completing Spider-Man for the 7th time. Well, that was a mistake. Sort of. Returnal is a good showcase. If I would have given the game a little bit more time, I would have seen that. The different biomes, creatures, bosses, and particle effects are all beautiful. It's even a good showcase of the DualSense features. From the tiny haptic feedback you get when raindrops hit your suit, to the adaptive triggers where you hold L2 halfway to aim and pull the trigger all the way for your alt-fire mode. Since I brought up fire modes, let's just get into the gunplay. When I first played Returnal, I didn't enjoy the gunplay at all. But now after giving it more time, it is a lot better than I initially thought. My main gripe of enemies not reacting much to your bullets and giving good feedback of your hits is still present, but that's really it. The rest of the gunplay is surprisingly solid. You can find 11 different weapons, and each weapon can have one of 11 different possible alt-fire modes, but since that apparently isn't enough, each weapon can have 1 or 2 active traits as well. This leads to a variety of different weapon builds, but you don't get to set them because the traits and alt-fire modes are randomized on the weapon drops. If you were lucky, you can find a weapon early on that really meshes with your playstyle, but when you die, it's gone. And due to the different possibilities, it may be quite a few runs before you get that weapon again with the same traits and fire mode. That level of randomness carries over into nearly every aspect of your run with a heavy emphasis on risk versus reward. Each run will have different layouts, enemy placements, and more importantly, pickups. Now that risk versus reward I mentioned will really come into play with the malignant items you come across. Malignant items have a chance of giving your suit a malfunction whenever you pick them up. Those malfunctions can range from weapons firing slower to you doing 50% less damage when you are at full health. That sounds like a lot of risk, so what exactly is the reward? Well, the reward is the item you pick up. For example, it can come in the form of a chest that is guaranteed to drop some high-level loot, but it of course has a very high chance to cause a malfunction. Now, getting a malfunction isn't exactly the end of your run, because each one has its own mini challenge attached to it. When that challenge is completed, the malfunction disappears and you keep the loot. So, is that risk worth it? Well, if you don't think so, you can also use ether to cleanse the item. Now, ether is a rare and valuable currency, so you can't just go wasting it on every chest you come across. I would be doing this game an injustice if I didn't talk about the boss fights. They are superb. I usually dread boss fights when I come across them, but seeing as they were the main part of Returnal, I'm glad they are incredibly well done, even if the difficulty of them can be a bit all over the place. You would think the boss fights would get more difficult as you go on, but one fight might be easy, the next can be extremely difficult, and then the next one after that would be back to easy. So far in the script, I've been writing my thoughts as I had them when I was early into the game. Well, later on, when I had stopped making progress because there was a particular section I could not get through and gave up after trying over and over again, I was tired of playing Returnal. The enjoyment I initially had quickly got replaced with annoyance. It got to a point where I didn't want to do another run because I was tired of going through the motions. If I was reviewing Returnal when I initially played it, this is where the video would end. But I'm not. I'm playing Returnal after the Ascension update, which added co-op, and to my surprise, it was the saving grace it needed. Co-op doesn't do anything special. It doesn't add anything new. It is the same exact game, it just has another person going through the run with you. But for me, that was enough to get me to enjoy the game again. I didn't even go through the game with somebody I knew. All of my multiplayer experiences were with complete randoms through matchmaking. Now, I know Returnal is a game about being alone on an unknown hostile planet, but that got old after a while, and co-op was just the kick it needed for me to actually have a positive, lasting impression coming out of it. Thank you for watching InputSource. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. If you have any feedback or video ideas, send us an email here, and check out the description for game links and other recommended videos. Once again, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.